Since the Hamas-led terrorist attack on Israel, 1,200 people were killed, at least 250 others taken hostage. Thank you for joining us here on CBS 19 News at 10. I'm Jesus Martinez. A year later, nearly 100 hostages remain in Gaza, with less than 70 believed to be alive. So far, the Palestinian Health Ministry says almost 42,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since the war began a year ago. Protesters across the world this weekend, including here in the U.S., demanding a ceasefire to end the war as tensions rise. And here in East Texas, the community members gathered for a day of remembrance for those who lost their lives in this war. CBS 19's Rabbi Neal Katz was at Congregation Bethel as the community remembers those lost.
The biggest Jewish massacre since the Holocaust.
October 7th, 2023. It's a day that many people in the Jewish community will never forget.
This date, October 7th, is etched in our minds as sort of the new day of mourning and loss in the Jewish world, but it's also a day of pride and resilience.
On Sunday, dozens of people gathered at the Congregation Bethel, led by Rabbi Neal Katz, for a day of remembrance and mourning.
And we have a tradition that starting at the 1-year anniversary of somebody's death, you do what's called a yahrzeit. You do a special prayer on a yearly anniversary.
But it's not only Jews and the people of Israel suffering. Innocent Palestinians are also enduring bloodshed.
It was terrible what Hamas did in Israel. But the unfortunate is the Palestinian people. They have no hope and no one to give them hope. And they're in the middle of this fight.
Amor Khalifa is with the East Texas Islamic Society. He says he condemns the acts of Hamas on October 7th, 2023. 1 year later, the war between Israel and Hamas continues to take countless lives, with no ceasefire in plan and more destruction likely to be pursued in the future.
I don't know how much more killing needs to happen. There's been a lot of killing happening. A lot of innocent folks have been killed, both sides.
Emilia Daran has seen the graphic scenes in Israel as she's gone to volunteer there. Her and Rabbi Katz both touched on the everlasting pain this has caused the Jewish community in Israel.
Everyone there has been through a trauma and are still going through that trauma.
But it's still scary. Right? There's not a moment of pause or rest. There is not post-traumatic stress. It is current traumatic stress. And that's not just for Israelis, it's for so many in the Middle East.
365 days since those attacks, but generations of conflicts. All innocent civilians can do is wait and pray for the fighting to end.
For an entire year, we have incorporated this both emotionally and spiritually into our community. And it's exhausting, but it's not over. And I've always said, in order to achieve peace, we need to defeat the enemies of peace.
Robert De La Garza, CBS 19.